When I was at Whitworth College, I was in an improv troupe. And it was very, very highly respected. It was called Cool Whip, with an H, whip. Cool Whip. All whips are with an H, but I digress. So much fun performing in these, performances. We would have these little games, and of course, if you've ever seen, oh boy, Whose Line Is It Anyway? Very similar to that, only we weren't nearly as good as those guys. But boy, talk about just the stress of being on stage. But I learned an extremely valuable lesson. I learned many lessons actually doing improv in college. And the first biggest lesson I learned was set your partners up for success. That is a major, major key to improv. So when you're on stage, the rule was say yes. But not just say yes and agree with the person, you say yes and. So when they say, let's go to a graveyard, you say yes and let's bring a chainsaw in case we meet someone. You see what I mean? You're adding to it, you're agreeing with it. The bad people in improv, and maybe pencil this down for later, those are the people who say no. And it gets a cheap little laugh because it puts your scene partner in a really awkward area, like, oh great, what do? They just denied me. But that's just a jerk thing to do, because she said no, they're not gonna go. What are they gonna do instead? And that's just mean. So it just stops the scene. Unless you say no, but, and actually make it work. Let's go to the graveyard. No, but I have a ticket here to a space station. Still, that's kind of a jerk thing to do because you're kind of taking ownership of the scene. But it's all about this repertoire, this building each other up. And it takes a considerable amount of trust on stage when you're with someone, because you're not quite sure what they're going to do. But you just get up there and you play, and you say yes and. I have brought that philosophy with me not only into improv theater, but regular theater as well. That is stage theater, or maybe acting in YouTube videos when you're acting with someone else, or miming. You take that yes and philosophy and you build up your other partners around you. Boy, this is even a great metaphor for marriage. Yeah. Basically, don't be a selfish jerk. You know what I mean? Don't make it all about yourself. Yes and. The power of yes and. Where's my chainsaw?